Primary 4 and Primary 4-5, and welcome to your maths task. Your maths task this week is looking at using the empty number line. Last week, if you remember, we used 100 square, which was the picture jotting and model we used to work on addition and subtraction calculations. And this week is going to be the empty number line we'll be looking at. You might have used this before, but we're going to run over it to remind ourselves of how we use the empty number line. So in order to be successful today, I want you to confidently jump on and back in tens or multiples of 10. And I want you to be able to jump on and back to the next 10. So if we started with 24, I would jump on to my next 10, which is 34, and I'd be able to jump back from 24 to my previous 10, which is 14. I want you to be able to choose helpful numbers to jump on and back on your empty number line to solve addition and subtraction problems. This one's a little bit trickier, but I want us to do some practicing so we can work on it so we'll be able to do it by ourselves. So before we get started, let's have a think about what the empty number line actually is. So it's a development on the number line. And a typical number line, you would see intervals on the line that you are given. But here we have free space to decide what kind of jumps we're doing. The numbers are not drawn to scale on our empty number line. So instead of trying to scale it, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. What we're going to do instead is we're just going to try and show roughly how big or small our jumps are. So a jump of 6 will be smaller than a jump of 30. And that's the only way we need to really scale our empty number line. The purpose of it is to show what you are thinking when you are solving a problem. So if we were thinking about doing a sum in our heads, usually the things that we think in our heads could be shown on an empty number line to show how we've done it, which can help parents and teachers when they're looking at your work. And in terms of addition on the empty number line, what you're going to see when you're adding is you're going to start on the left, and you're going to jump forwards when you add on. The opposite is true for subtraction. So with subtraction, you start here on the right at the end of your number line, and you jump backwards and take away. So for this video, we're going to focus on jumping forwards and adding on. Okay, so addition, jumping on. What goes where? Just like we said, the first number is marked on the line on the left. The jump is going to be labelled, that's what you're adding. So in our example here, we've got 12 add 5. Our 12 is at the start of our line here. Our jump is labelled with our add 5, and our final number is our answer. That's where we finish. So 12 add 5 gives me 17. We're going to do a little game now, thinking about where our numbers go on our number line. I want you to complete my line. You can choose your own start number, but I want you to match my jumps. I want to find out what number you landed on in the end. Write it down. I want you to choose a different number and repeat. I would like you to pause the video here and have a go of choosing your own start number. If I'm having a go here, I might choose 12. And then complete my number line. So for my example, 12 add 40. Okay, so I add 4 tens to my 1 10, that's 50. And I'm not adding any units, so it's 52. Then I'm adding 5, 52 add 5, I know 2 add 5 gives me 7, got no 10s to add, 57. And then I'm adding 2, 57 add 2, I know in my head that's 59. So my answer would give me 59. What does your chosen start number give you? Two different numbers, have a go. Okay, once you've done that, we're going to move on to our helpful tens. Tens are real friendly numbers when it comes to number lines. They're helpful to use as a size of a jump and to land on. Okay, so we're going to practice using them as a size of a jump. We're going to play another game just now, which is jump the tens. I'm going to roll the dice and give you a start number. You are going to draw a number line starting with that number and jump in tens as far as you can in 60 seconds. I'm going to have to get my timer ready just now so we can time it. So we're giving you an example here of 4 being our start number and jumping however many times you can in 60 seconds. You might need a very long empty number line for this one, depending on how quickly you're going to count your tens. Are you ready? I'm going to roll my dice and give you your number to start with, which goes at the start of our number line on the left here, okay? So it's not going to be 4, it's going to be a different number. Let's roll it. Okay, that number is 6. You have 60 seconds to jump in tens as many times as you can. 3, 2, 1, go! How many tens can you count up in from our number? I wonder how long these number lines are going to be. So this links to our success criteria of confidently counting on and back in tens. And that's half your time passed. "20 seconds left. We're counting on to the next 10 here. How confidently are you doing that? Is this something you need practice with? Oh, almost time. Okay, that's time up. I wonder how high you got up to. Let's have a look at our next problem. So we're still thinking about these helpful tens that we have and using them as a size of jump and to land on. We've just looked at how easy it is to use 10 as a size of a jump, but now I want you to have a look at using tens as a size of a jump when we use it in an addition problem. So 48 add 36. My first job is to start with my first number, 48, at the end of my number line. So I put that here. Then I need to add 36. I'm going to partition my number into tens and units. So here, 36, I have 3 tens and 6 units. Here, I'm going to add my 3 tens first. So 48, adding 3 tens, adding 1 10, 58, 2 tens, 68, 3 tens, 78. If I feel confident enough, I can just add my 30 all in a one. Then I need to look at my units. I've got 6 units to add. Now, this is where we see that a 10 can be a really nice number to land on. So I've got 78 from adding my 3 tens. Now 78 add 6 is going to boggle my brain a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to jump to 80 first because that's a nice friendly number. I know how to get to my tens. And then I can add on what's remaining there. So 78 add 2 I know gives me 80. I only need to add 2 to get to my next friendly 10. But I'm not adding 2, I'm adding 6. So I need to think what's left from 6 if I add 2. 6 take away 2 gives me 4. I just need to add 4. That's all I've got left to add from my 6 to get me my final answer. So from my friendly 80, I add 4 and I get 84. This is called bridging because we're going to our friendly 10 and then seeing what we've got left to add. Okay, I'm going to show you this when instead of adding our tens first, we add our units. So 48 add 36, our same problem. We still put our 48 at the start here, but we're going to add our units first. So I'm adding 48 add 6. Again, that's going to boggle my brain a little bit. So I'm in my head, I'm going to add to my nearest 10, which is adding 2. I know that 48 add 2 gives me 50. So I'm going to break up my 6 into 2 and 4 because I know that if I have 2 and I want to get to 6, I need to add 4. So add 2 to get to 50, add 4 to get to 54, and then that's my units added. I just need to add my tens, and then I've got 3 tens left. So again, I can do my little 10 jumps of 3 jumps, 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, giving me 64, 74, 84, or I can add it in a one. 54 add 30 gives me 84. Okay, so in both of those examples, you saw that we partitioned or broke up our 6 into 2 and 4 to make it easier to calculate. This is why knowing your number bonds is very helpful, and it's the first exercise on your jobs in your math challenge. If you're still not feeling confident with that, I want you to practice your number bonds, because they're the ones that are going to help you when you come to trickier problems. Now, another thing that we can do with our helpful friendly tens is compensate. So, I like adding tens to numbers, and I'm sure that you guys feel a little bit confident adding tens rather than other numbers. So what we do is, if we have a number like 9, which is very close to 10, we sometimes pretend it's a 10 and then compensate. So 25 add 9, I need to work out what the answer is. So I put my 25 here, and instead of adding 9, which is going to confuse my brain, I'm going to add 10 and then take away 1. It's the same thing as adding 9, but it just makes it a little bit easier for me to calculate. So 25 add 10 gives me 35, and I take away 1 and that gives me 34. Let's do another example with a trickier number. 54 add 29. Okay, so 29 is not an easy number to add to my 54, but I know that 29 is very close to a friendly 10, 30. So I'm going to start on 54, I'm going to add 30, and then what do I need to take away to get to 29? 1. So 54 add 30 gives me 84, and then I take away 1 to give me 83. If you're not quite comfortable doing this big jump of 30, you can still very comfortably do your 1, 2, 3 jumps of 10 and then jump back 1. Okay, with all that information, I want you to have a go at your Chili Challenge tasks. You're going to use an empty number line to show your thinking when working out your addition problems. When you feel super confident with that, you can move on to your subtraction video. But I don't want you to move on to subtraction until you feel very, very confident using your empty number line for addition. Okay, give it a go and let me know how you get on. Enjoy doing some maths, folks.